Good evening, everyone. So yesterday we were discussing about like what is firewall. Then we discussed that what are the types of firewall we have. So in the types of firewall, what we have discussed that here we have first is host-based firewall that is going to protect a single device. Then we have network-based firewall that is going to protect multiple devices in the network. Then we discussed that generally in the host-based firewall, you will be having software. Whereas in the network based, we are going to have what? Generally hardware. Now, further, this software and hardware has been divided into stateful, stateless, and next generation firewall. So, if we talk about the software based firewalls, we can say like we have Windows Defender and we have PF Sense, right? All these are the example of what software based. When we talk about the hardware, so we have the firewalls like FortiGate, Palo Alto, ASA, like that. So next, we discussed that we are going to have a stateful and a stateless. So what we found that in the stateful firewall, what happens that it keeps the logs or it maintains a state table so that this helps this particular firewall to in the upcoming future, if same type of malicious activities is going on, then it can identify that threats. And then we have discussed regarding what stateless firewall, stateless. So what happens in the stateless? It is not going to have the logs, or you can say it does not maintain the state table. Fine. So next we have discussed regarding the traditional firewall, traditional and next generation firewall. So in the traditional firewall, what we have discussed that it is going to have a feature to filter the traffic for which layer? Till layer 4, we can say. Layer 3, layer 2, layer 4. Whereas in next generation firewall, it can filter the traffic till which layer? Layer 7. Application filtering can be done in this. Right? So apart from that, even it can filter the application. Under this application also, it has the capability to filter the sub applications also. So these are the extra feature that we will be getting in the next generation firewalls, right? So we discussed one more point that stateful firewall can be traditional also, can be next generation also, but next generation firewall is what? Stateful firewall. All this basics understanding we have regarding the firewall. And then we discuss the certification path for the FortiGate. And in that, we're going to cover what? NSE 4. Fine till here. Today, we will be starting with the FortiGate architecture. Okay. So today, our plan, if you write the agenda of today's class, so first we will be studying the FortiGate architecture. In that, in the FortiGate architecture, we have to discuss regarding the software part, software base, like OS, operating system, and regarding the hardware. Fine. Then we'll discuss different versions. What are the different versions of OS we have, and what are the different modules of uh, firewalls we have. What is being preferred here. Fine. And then we'll be starting with how to configure IP address and how to take GUI access of the firewall. Now, in the FortiGate architecture, see, so the FortiOS, that is operating system, the core of FortiGate firewall. So FortiOS is called as what? The core operating system of what? FortiGate firewall. We can also call it as like what? Kernel, the main operating system of the firewall. Fine. Now it is telling you that FortiOS is the operating system running on all the FortiGate firewalls. So what are the use case of this operating system? What are the functions it provides us? So firewall policy enforcement. So whatever the policy that we're going to create and implement, so all that can be enforced with the help of what? This OS. Then a routing decision. So like whatever the routing decision or routing command we're configuring there, so all that decision will be done with the help of OS. VPN management. right? Security inspections, high availability, all these features will be done or will be taken care by what? Operating system, right? Now, even we have what? VDOM. Now, what do you mean by this VDOM? Virtual domain, right? Now, in this case, what is happening here and what is the use case of VDOM? In FortiGate firewall, this is my single firewall, right? It can inspect the traffic, it can filter the traffic based on the rules and policies. I want to create certain more firewalls under this single firewall. It means what I'm creating? More virtual firewall. I'm having a single physical firewall. Physical device is single only, but with the help of the single physical device, I am going to create multiple virtual device. That is called as a VDOM. VDOM is a feature of FortiGate firewall. Now the question comes that if I'm having a single FortiGate firewall, in that how many virtual firewall I can create? There could be certain conditions, certain numbers. How many maximum you can create VDOM? So it depends upon what? It depends upon the license. It depends upon what? What types of OS version you're using. Based on these conditions, you can create multiple VDOM. If on an average, we can create like 5 or 7. But it also depends upon what license every and apart from that, which OS version we are going to use there. So VDOM is also a feature. Next, logging and monitoring. Right. So now whatever is happening, we want to monitor the traffic. For that purpose also, this OS will help us. Right? So these are the features that we can do with the help of this FortiOS. Now, what are the different versions of OS we have that we'll discuss later on. And what OS we are going to use for our configuration purpose or for our like lab purpose. That we'll also see. Fine till here? So now you know that basic structure. So one is software and one is what? Hardware. So in FortiGate firewall, we tell FortiOS for the operating system. For the hardware, what we say? FortiASIC. What is this ASIC? Application Specific Integrated Circuit. Now, what is the meaning of this? It means that you don't going to depend upon the single CPU or single chip. It will be having a combination of that. That's why it's telling you as what? Application Specific Integrated Circuit. Now see, it is a custom chip designed by Fortinet to offload the specific firewall, networking, and security workloads from the CPU. To reduce the workload from the CPU, we have integrated circuit. That integrated circuit will be having what? Combination of chip. Now, we may have, let's say, network processor and content processors. So we are not going to have individual chip for network processor and content processor. They both will be in a single chip. That's why we tell that what? It is integrated circuit, right? So FortiOS IC is a Fortinet customs hardware technology used in FortiGate firewall to make networking and security fast and efficient. So whenever we will talk about the hardware part of the FortiGate firewall, so it is ASIC, that is application a specific integrated circuit. In this, you have two things. One is what? Network processor. And one is what? Content processor. If you ask the basic difference between NP and CP, network processor is responsible for forwarding the traffic. This is the basic difference. Network processor function is what? To forward the traffic with the, let's say, layer 2 it is or layer 3 it is. So when it is layer 2, you know what it will be using here. And when it is layer 3, like IP addresses it will be using. Correct? So to forward the traffic, it uses what? Network processors. Now, what type of traffic we have in that? The content will be identified. So that is called as a content processors. So you can say network processor is responsible for forwarding the traffic. Content processor is responsible for what is being forwarded. Is it going to contain any malicious threat or not? All the things will be coming under what? Content processor. So network processors operate at a network layer, layer 2, layer 3 to accelerate the core networking and firewall functions. Whereas content processors, it is going to see, okay, first the network processor. Network processor handles what? Packet forwarding, routing, layer 3, switching, layer 2, NAT, VLAN tagging, quality of services. All these are example of what? Network processors. Fine. So if packet is being forwarded, so it is a part of what? Network processors. If routing is been done, network processors. Switching is done, network processors. Fine. Whereas in the content processor, what will you find? So content processor works as a co-processor to the main CPU. So we have a main CPU, it is helping him, right? So offloading the resource intensive security functions that require what? Deep inspections. Now, you know that as the responsibility of the content processor is for deep packet inspections. It has to identify is there any malicious threat or not. For that, it need to use more resources. So we can't give all the resources to, and we can't give more, you can say, consumptions resources for the CPU. So to offload them, what we have? A separate content processor. So what is the work for this content processor we have? So it is designed to check network traffic for security threats. So it focuses on what is inside the packet, not just moving it. Network processor will just move it. Content processor will check what is there in the packet. So content processor handles antivirus scanning, intrusion prevention system, application control, web filtering, content inspections, or SSL and TLS inspections. All this work will be done with the help of whom? Content processors. Fine. So where do we find this? In the hardware part. In hardware part, what we have? Two things. One is content processor, one is network processor. Network processor responsible for forwarding the traffic. Content processor is responsible for what? Inspecting it. Fine. Now, what do you think? They both are separate, content and network, or even they both are integrated. They both are integrated on a single chip. That's why it is telling you as what? Security processing unit. Okay, a system on a chip that consolidates both network and content processing functions onto a single chip for enhanced efficiency. So this system on a chip in FortiASIC is a single chip that combines multiple functions of FortiGate firewall into one. So instead of using separate chips for the CPU, NP, network processor, and content processor, what it does, it put everything on a single chip. And this is called as what? Security Processing Unit, or you can say SOC, system on a chip. Right? Clear till here, the hardware part.
Yes, sir.
Now, what it is telling you that this firewall is modular based firewall. What is the meaning of this? See,
The
when
function comes with separate
huh,
modules.
it means it is going to have separate modules, like separate modules for what? Antivirus, separate modules for other features like what you can do policy enforcement, correct? No. Then separate feature for VPN management, separate feature for HA high availability. So are you going to use this all feature at one time? No. When I need them, then I will use that. When I will not need, I will not use that. Right? So it is not that is if I am going to start my device, so all the features will be started. No. When I will need, I will use that. That is why it is called as what? Modular based firewall. So FortiGate uses FortiOS where security features are implemented as independent modules. So that can be enabled or disabled as required or when required. So FortiGate is a modular-based firewall, modular-based next-generation firewall because its security services such as IPS, antivirus, web filtering, application control are implemented as independent module that can be selectively applied to the firewall policies. By default, it will not be present. By default, it will not be on. You have to make these policies you so that it can be used there. Getting the point? So a modular based firewall allows the security functions like what IPS, antivirus, VPN, web filtering, etc. to be added, to be removed, or upgraded independently based on the requirement. So when I will require the policy, so I will go and create the policies. When I require HA, I will go and create the HA. When I require VPN part, I will go and create the VPN part. So each and every module is going to have a separate functions. That's why it is called as a modular based firewall. This is the exact meaning of the modular based firewall. Fine. So whatever the terms we are
And
discussing, hmm,
sir, may I ask a doubt?
yes, please continue.
So for the separate modules, do we need a separate licenses?
No, nothing. It
That's
depends.
how we added. Okay,
It
okay,
depends. Like whenever you will be going with a firewall, no. So if you have a proper license for a firewall, everything will work there, right?
okay, okay,
Even when I will be using, I will show you that what all the features we are having here, right?
okay,
Now,
okay, okay.
like for example, whenever we will be using, so it has NTP. NTP will be working. So for that, we have to set the timing also. So whenever you will get the timing, NTP time protocol will be working here, and it will be collecting the timing from where servers, right? So sometimes what happens that if there is no proper license, so it may ask you to upload the license. Otherwise, you will not be able to continue with this. So this is how it is asking with the help of certain time based also. It happens. Let's say
Okay.
there is a timing is given, 15 days expiration time is there. So once 15 days has expired, so it will ask you to upload the license. So these all features will be having in the single OS version, you can say, right? After this, when I will start with the, I will explain you what type of versions of the OS we have and what it is going to support and what are the features is being added in that. Because you know that every time if new features comes, so that is going to be added in that, right?
Sure.
Now, whatever we are discussing, why it is important? Because see, if you're going to start working on the firewall, you must have first certain knowledge about that, what it is, how it works, what all the components it has, right? No, all the background process we need to know. Now, next is this is important part here. Modes of operation in the FortiGate firewall. It means when we talk about the modes of operation, it means what? How it is operating, how it is sending and receiving the traffic. I'm not talking about how it is filtering the traffic. Filtering is different thing, operating is different thing. Correct? No. So when we talk about the modes of operation in FortiGate firewall, we have basically two modes, two main mode. One is called as what? NAT mode. Now, when we talk about NAT mode, what does it mean? NAT mode means what? That it will be doing NAT here. So here NAT means what? That it will be responsible for doing network address translation only. No. Here the term is NAT mode. Term is NAT mode. It means that it is operating at layer 3. This is the meaning of NAT mode. So FortiGate works like a router plus firewall. When it operates like a router plus firewall, this is NAT mode, where it can direct the traffic towards any network and their routing is required. And apart from that, even it checks the policies also. And based on that policies, it filters the traffic also. That's why routing plus firewall, and it is acting as a NAT mode. So it routes the traffic between the interfaces and confirm what? NAT. That's why it is called as a NAT mode. Now, why it is important? When you will go for the interview, question will be asked. Explain me the modes of operation in firewall. Don't say layer 3 and layer 2. Tell NAT mode and transparent mode. These are the actual term given by what? FortiGate. Fortinet, you can say. Right? So you will tell what? NAT mode. NAT mode means what? Layer 3 mode. where it is going to support what? Routing plus firewall. So what are the key points? Interfaces will have different subnets. It's obvious only. You know that if I am having a single device, even if you talk about the router, each interfaces is going to have separate network. That's why it is like a router. Same as for the firewall, what will happen? Each interface will be of different network. Fine. Now routing table is used. So as it is supporting the layer 3, it means here we will be having what? A routing table. And even what is supported? That is supported. So here it's talking that if you are having a firewall, this side separate network, this side separate network. So if any traffic is coming from LAN towards this internet, then whatever the traffic is coming, it is allowing that. And here what is required? Routing. Correct? No. In that case, this is acting as a layer 3 device. So in a simple term, in one line, you can remember when a FortiGate firewall operates at layer 3, it is called as what? NAT mode. Fine. Now, second mode, transparent mode. Don't say layer 2 mode, transparent mode. But meaning is what? Layer 2. So transparent mode is a layer 2 operating mode in which FortiGate firewall works like a water bridge, not like a router. It does not route any traffic. It does not change the IP addresses. Just it inspects the traffic in line and applies the security policies. So what it depends, what it uses here, VLAN, right? So transparent mode is an operation mode where FortiGate act like what? A bridge. Now you can see here that if any, this is the internet, right? This is us, we have firewall. And here what we have, different devices are connected. So they both are of what? Different VLAN. So what is the work of this firewall? They will be allowing it to communicate with each other. And based on this, what they need, the policies they need, right? And based on this also, we can have what? VDOM, VDOM, and VDOM. That is virtual domain, correct? So in the layer 2, what is happening here? That it will be acting as a layer 2 devices, and that it will be responsible for enabling the communications within the local area network only. Fine. So when we will come to this transparent mode, when we will start the practical part, so one day we have to show you the transparent mode also, where I will be taking multiple devices and I will be putting them into what? Different VLANs. And then we'll decide, we will see what is the use case of the firewall there. Fine. Apart from this, apart from NAT mode and transparent mode, two more mode. What are those? Virtual wire. Next, one arm sniffer. Now, again, one question to you. When we talk about these modes, whether it is NAT mode, transparent mode, or virtual wire, or one arm sniffer, it is firewall modes or it is interface mode. What it is? Huh? Have you done ASA? How many of you have done ASA? So in ASA, what are the modes we have? Transparent mode is there. Huh? So in ASA, it is firewall mode or interface mode? Tell me fast. Anyone from online who can say this? What I'm asking, that when we talk about these modes, so is it firewall mode or interface mode? It is interface mode, not the firewall mode, right? I can make an interface acting as a virtual wire and other will be acting as what? Layer 3. These are the interface modes. When you will come to ASA, that is firewall mode. So it means if I'm having a transparent mode, it means whole firewall is acting as a transparent. Here it is not like that. Single interface I can make to act as a transparent. That's why if you will observe here, this side again I have connectivity towards what? A layer 3 device. Getting the point? Though here my network will be same, but it is a interface modes. when we talk about the firewall. Completely, you are not changing the mode of the firewall only. That's why it is depending upon what interfaces. Okay. When we'll start the practical, no, everything will be clear for you. Now, this is we call as a VDOM, virtual domain. Again, this is important. Question will be asked, what is VDOM? So VDOM is virtual domain, allows a single FortiGate firewall to be logically divided into what? Multiple independent virtual firewall. See what happens now whenever you are going to, like if you go with the Palo Alto, if you go with the FortiGate firewall, any other firewall, everywhere approximately concept remains same. What is being changing here? Terms will change. And because of that terms only, when you are going for the interview, and if you are telling that I have done FortiGate firewall, so question will be also from the FortiGate firewall terms only. No, you can't say the terms of Palo Alto in the FortiGate for questions, right? So you have to be clear with the terms also. What terms is being used with what firewall? So VDOM we have here. So its meaning is what? That it is being logically divided into what? Multiple independent virtual firewall. So VDOM is a FortiGate feature that virtualizes one physical firewall into what? Multiple independent firewalls for segmentation or for security isolation purpose. So by default, if you have VDOM number one, it is called as what? Root VDOM. Root VDOM is what? VDOM number one. I can increase that. As I told you, with the help of license, with the help of different OS versions, you can increase the multiple different VDOMs. So how many VDOM we can create, it depends upon the license as well as OS version that you are going to use there. Clear till here? Next. We will not use this FortiGuard, but we have to understand what is this FortiGuard. So FortiGuard is a cloud-based threat intelligence service that provides real-time security updates such as what antivirus, IPS, and web filtering, and application control to the FortiGate firewall. Now, if you remember, when we were discussing yesterday, there I told you that on some of the firewall, it completely depends upon what external admin, what the admin is setting the rules there. But every time it is not possible for the admin to go and set the rules. It want intelligence threat detection. So in that case, if you are going to have a firewall and if it is having a connectivity from the FortiGuard, in that case, whatever the extra features that we have, it will be collecting it from there only. That's why it says, see, understand here, what will happen if you're going without and what will happen if you're going with the cloud-based. So if you're going with the without cloud-based service, so firewall has only local and static rules. So local rules, static rules that has been created by what? A network admin, security admin. Whereas it is manually updated. So it needs what? Manual updates needed. Now it will provide you what? Limited protection against new threats because it is not aware about that new threats. No. So how will it will provide you the protection against that? Whereas if you'll be going with the cloud-based services, no, that is called as FortiGuard. So it says that it is providing you threat intelligence is stored in FortiGuard cloud servers. So now my FortiGuard, see, here this is my firewall. It is being connected toward what's FortiGuard, and through that it is checking antivirus and web filtering. Not from the locally. Whatever is present on that, from that it is collecting. So FortiGate connects to the FortiGuard over the internet and get real-time updates automatically. Always protect against the new attacks. But it also depends on your premises, what you want, how much level of security you want. It depends, right? Whether you wanted to have an individual firewall or whether you wanted to have a connectivity with FortiGuard. Correct? It depends upon what type of protection level you want. So it has different features. So FortiGuard is like what? Cloud-based threat intelligence services. So again, if anytime the terms comes, like what is FortiGuard? So it is cloud-based, right? Now, we'll talk about the OS versions that we have here. Now, if you will see here, the first OS version that it is written here is 6.0. It means it does not mean that it was not having before 6.0. It was having, but that is not being preferred only. That is completely outdated, you can say. So it is started from 1.0 only, but that is outdated. That's why I have added from 6.0. So this FortiOS 6.0, it was in the year 2018. So now focus point, it is traditional next generation firewall. In this also it added yearly SD-WAN technologies. So what are the key functions for this? A stateful next generation firewall provides you IPS feature, antivirus, web filtering, IPsec and SSL VPN, basics SD-WAN, policy-based and route-based firewall rules, central NAT and policy inspections, and initial security fabric integrations. So we can say that from this 6.0 only, yearly SD-WAN has been added. Fine, apart from certain other basic things. This is traditional next generation. Next, what happened? FortiOS 6.2. In which year? 2019. Focus point was what? SD-WAN intelligence. It means compared to what we have in the 6.0, more features were added for the SD-WAN. Better visibility. Now, performance-based SD-WAN rules, application-aware routing, improved the GUI pace, and better FortiAnalyzer integrations. Now, what is FortiAnalyzer? That is responsible for analyzing the traffic. Correct? How we have different like solar bits. Why do we use that? Solar bits, like whatever for monitoring purpose, for analyzing purpose. Same as we have FortiAnalyzer integrations. So even with the help of this, you can analyze the traffic. Automation, basic automation were added, enhanced VPN scalability, and better hardware offloading, like FortiASIC users started. Correct? No. So you know that whenever if anything is new coming in the market, so something thing will be improved in that also. So that's improvement we have seen in this FortiOS version 6.2 that came in the year 2019. Then what we have? 6.4, year 2020. So you can expect every year they come with the new OS versions on an average, right? So focus point was what? Cloud automations and analytics. So it provided you what? Cloud security. So we can say that the cloud security was added from where? 6.4. So cloud security enhancement, like for AWS and Azure, improved SD-WAN, security ratings and compliance checks, fabric automation improvements, better visibility for of encrypted traffic, and improve what? FortiManager control. FortiManager that is responsible for managing multiple devices, centralized devices. Correct? Now, this is for 6.4. What we will be using for practice purpose? Tell me, in our syllabus, I told you that we will cover cloud security. No. SD-WAN? No. Automation? No. That also it supports everything. It means that if it can support this all features, so whatever is there in our syllabus, it can support that also. So we will use 6.4 only. Okay. This is the OS version we will be using. But you have certain other also. Next is what? Now you can't say that where is 6.6, 6.8. FortiGate has only developed like this. From 6.4, they tried to jump to 7.0. Okay, so 6.4, then 7.0 only. In which year? 2021. Focus point, zero trust and unified security. So zero trust network access introduced, unified policy for the security plus networking, strong security and fabric integrations, better API and better SD-WAN performance, and SSL inspections, client integrations, all these things were added. So like all this are the, we can say, extra part We don't no need to discuss all these things. Just we have to see what are the advancement the firewall is getting, extra features what it is getting, right? So the major part was for zero trust network access. Fine. That's why whenever now we will be accessing the firewall, by default it is going to deny all the traffic. It does not allow any traffic. What we need to do, we have to create the rules and policies to permit, not to deny. By default, it has denied everything. So you have to create the policies to permit, right? So based on that permit rules only, it is going to allow the traffics. 7.2, year 2022. Now, what it does, stability and more security, advanced threat protection, VPN performance, scalability, improved logging, automation, and like what we have discussed, zero trust network enhancement in the FortiOS 7.2. 7.4. So secure networking and management. So again, secure SD-WAN, improved IPS, better cloud, enhanced firewall policies, better GUI, improved fabric visibility dashboard, like dashboard improvements, you can say. Multiple options were added in that. Use case, large enterprise and service provider environments. Who will use this? Large enterprise. So for us, till 7.2 also it's fine. 7.6. Recently, it has launched in the year 2024 to 25. AI driven. It means you can say that in this, AI part has been added. Okay, real time security and AI driven. So, real time threat response, advanced automation, and improved AI based threat detection. So, improved performance optimization, strong FortiGuard, intelligence users, high security, and future ready enterprise network it is. Latest one, 7.6. This is the latest OS version. Fine. So in the OS, how many OS versions we have discussed? First is 6.0, 6.2, 6.4, 7.0, 7.2, 7.4, and 7.6. Again, next year, this year only it will come. One more. Okay. So this was regarding the OS version, operating system. Now we have what? Hardware models. Different models also we have, right? So we are going to use what? 6.4.6 and in that 60F. This is the model hardware. I mean, like the device image that we will be using, it is from 60F only. So first is what? See, now based on where this firewall is being used, it has categorized its hardware model, right? Depends where it is being used. So first label it has given is entry level. So see here, FortiGate firewall models are grouped into clear categories based on use case, performance, and deployment size. Where it is being deployed, what is the requirement on that basis. So at entry level, we have what? Models like 40F, 60F, 70F, 80F, 90Z. Examples it is. These are the models that will be preferred where in the entry level. Entry level means what? Like branch offices model it is. So features like desktop form factor, built-in Wi-Fi options, suitable for small offices, or you can say that require what? Mid-level security. Key components or key points, compact hardware, lower throughput, and ideal for what? Branch and edge security. So the you can say the basic level, the starting point, we can use this models. This is the first level. Next, one more level we have. Like for example, if it is preferred where mid-range, that is for what? Enterprise, larger companies. So mid models for is what like 100F, 120Z, 200 and 400. That is going to provide you what? Rack mountable that can be mountable on the racks. Then high throughput, more interfaces will be there, designed for the growing businesses and campus network. So high throughput support multiple VDOMs. As I told, it also depends upon the different versions and different hardware. So for support what? Multiple VDOMs. Advanced next generation firewall features used as well at enterprise perimeter. So large enterprise, you can say. Fine. What is throughput? Hmm?
Throughput is a one kind of uh, bandwidth capacity.
Hmm. What is bandwidth?
It's the LAN in both side, LAN and WAN. It's come from ISP side, like 1 Gbps bandwidth.
So we can say how much data can be transferred with a
Yes.
particular link. That is called as a bandwidth.
Yes.
That is a maximum. Throughput is what? Actual.
Actual. Yes. Throughput is a actual
So
transmission rate.
bandwidth is, we can say it is a maximum amount, whereas
Yes.
throughput is the actual amount. So like how you have a car and you are telling that my maximum speed of car is what? 200. Are you driving at 200? No, you're driving at 80. So 80 is what? Throughput. 200 is what? Maximum bandwidth. Okay, this is the meaning. Then what we have for large enterprise and data center model. So these types of model that will be preferred where in the data center. That provides you the features like what? High performance, then chassis based systems for massive traffic volumes, often requiring modular blades and ideal for what? Data centers large scale. So in this also, one is like used by the service provider only, service provider and data centers. So one we have is for, you can say, entry level. One is for, you can say, is mid range, and one is for data center and service provider, and one is cloud based. So cloud based use cases were what? Virtualized for cloud environments, like you can say how we discussed for FortiGuard, right? So it is for what? Cloud based models. So key points like same FortiOS feature that we have seen, but it provides you what? More flexibility compared to what we had in the on-premise firewall, right? No. So different categories of the models and different OS versions we have in the firewall. Clear till here? So I think till here it's fine for discussing about the OS versions and different models. Now we will be starting with our like configuration part, how we will take the firewall, how we'll assign the IP addresses on that, and how we can take the GUI access. Fine. Okay, so you all are familiar with this, how to take devices, right? Already you have done routing, switching, everything. So I will be taking here firewall, FortiGate firewall it is. See this, it is what 14.8 FortiGates version 6.2, right? And yes. Now, if you want to take a GUI access though, for it, you need to have management cloud. What do you need? Management cloud. So right click. Now first come to network. Then you have type. And that you select what? Management cloud. Save. You can edit this. And here you can write what? As management. Connect this. Now, for you, if you want, just you can double click and start, but I will be using different method. So port number is 32769. So we'll use pretty 32769 IP address 192.168.136. Audio it is not required, right? 129. Just give other. No. Okay, it is asking for what? Login. What will you give? Admin. Password. We don't know. Enter. You are forced to change your password. Please input a new password. So first time you have to, in the password, when it will ask for the first time, you will give enter. Then again, it will ask you to give new password. It is mandatory to configure new password. Okay. So again, give here admin and give enter. Now, what is the new password? Let's say I'm giving here ABC123. Confirm it. ABC123. Done. I'm able to log in there. Now I have to check what are the interface we have in the firewall. How will I check? So system interface. What it is telling you? Port number 1 we have, port number 2 we have, port 3 and port 4. Now everywhere what it is? VDOM as root. I told you that first by default that is called as what? Root. Or VDOM that is by default it is present. Single VDOM that will be called as what? Root. Remember this part. Right till here. Now if you want to set the IP address, how will you set? You will give the command config system interface. Config system interface. Next, on which port you want to assign any IP address? Let's say I wanted to assign where? On this port, port number 1, where my management cloud is connected. Correct? So what I have to give here? Edit port 1. Right? If you use tab button, the port number will be changing here. Changing. So I have to edit port number 1. Give enter. So we came to port number 1. Then what? Set mode static. It means I have to set the IP address here. How I will get the IP? With the help of static. Set mode static. Now what we will give? Set IP address. Now here the question comes. What IP address? You can't give any random IP address. See here. If I have to access this firewall, how I will be accessing it? Through what? Through my EVNG. What is IP I have got for my EVNG? 192.168.136.129. It means I have to give this IP in this same network, right? Remember this part. Whatever the IP you find for your EVNG, same IP you will give. Not same IP, same network IP. Correct? So I have to give here what? 192.168.136. Not like this. Set IP. 192.168.136. Dot. After this, prefer the last part. 200, 201, 254, like that. So I'm going with 201. Correct? No. Next, what it is asking to write here? Subnet mask. I can go with any options. Slash 24 I can also write, or I can write 255, 255, 255.0. Now with this, will I be able to access the GUI page? Even I have to set with this interface, what all the things I need to allow. Like what? Set allow access. Set allow access we have to give. What you want to allow from this port. Let's say I want to allow ping. Give ping. I want to allow HTTP. Write HTTP. I want to allow telnet access. Allow telnet. Configured. Now give end. Done. Again verify. So system interface. IP is present. 192.168.136.201. What are the allow access we have given? Ping, HTTP, and telnet, not HTTPS, right? Then these are all the things we have given. Now, if I will try to access this with GUI page, will I be able to access? Yes. 192.168.136.201. Able to access? Now what it is telling you? Connection is not secure. Why? Because I am using HTTP, not HTTPS. So whenever you will use through HTTP only. Remember this. You will not use HTTPS. Okay. Fine till here. Now, what the username we have given? Admin. What is the password we have given? ABC123. Next, what is asking you? FortiGate setup. So first thing, you have to begin. What will you click? Begin. Next step, it is asking you to give a name. As of now, leave. I don't want to give any name. I will go with the default names. I wanted to show you what is the default name. So use default host name. Otherwise, you can give any name from your side also. So this is the default name it is using here. Fine. Now give OK. So this is the GUI page of the FortiGate firewall. Correct? So first you will check in the dashboard. See, you have the host name written here. This is a serial number. This is the firmware. This is a mode, NAT mode. System up, how long the system is up. All this information you will be seeing here. Correct? System events you can check. Status you can check. Configure system. See, Let's say, for example, come to dashboard, you want to change the host name, right? So you will come to system, and here in the system, you will come to the setting. In the setting, you have the options to change what? Host name. How will you change? First system, after system, setting. Then you have the option to change the host name. Let's say I want to change FortiGate. Just give. Now next is what? See, what is the time zone it is collecting? Pacific time, US, Canada. So we have to change what we have to write. This one, right? Plus 530. This is the mode. So next, not required for us. Just we will click apply. Now come to dashboard and see the name here. Only what is it in? FortiGate. Not water. If I give only FW, changed again FW, come to dashboard, status, change the host name. Now see the timing. Is it correct? What is the date today? 20. Not correct, right? 21 it is fine. Okay. Fine. Next, if you want to check the interface information, what of the IP has been configured, how will you check? You come to network, you check interfaces. Now, these are the interfaces we have. Port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4. Now, with port 1, it is showing you the IP. What is the IP? 192.168.136.201. And this is the subnet mask. And ping, HTTP, and telnet is allowed with this particular port. Correct? Now, if you want to edit or you want to create new, this is the options. Interface, zone, virtual, via, 40 extender, all this feature we will be having. So see, these are the ports I can add, right? Even when I will take the device, in that options you will have that you want to increase the number of ports or not. By default, it is going to show you what? 4. We can increase the ports. Clear till here? Now, automatically after some time, what will happen if you will not do any activities over here? You will be logged out from here. So now next time what I will do, again, I will off the device and again, we'll try to take the access. So what I will do, just I will log out from here. Come to this one, stop this. Now, how my devices can get the IP from DHCP? As of now, can it get from the DHCP? According to the scenario, it can't get because I'm not giving internet towards my firewall. Correct? No. To give internet, you have to give the internet, then only it can get it from where? DHCP. Correct? Hmm? If you will use HTTPS, it will ask you the license. Okay, so I have taken here what? Server access. So So when you will get the server access, you will have to use this Pinet lab only. So it is, I think, 10.1.41. It's too slow. 1.41.160. We'll check why it is not coming. Okay. So leave this. Okay. So in this only that, for example, we have to understand first what are the types of zone we have here. Types of zone. So what are the types of zone we have in the firewall? Just a minute. So if we talk about the zones, so here we have one is LAN zone, that is local area network, right? Where my multiple devices will be located in my same LAN environment, right? So you can say same network. Then you have WAN zone, that is wide area network, where we will be trying to reach what? Internet. Or one more we have DMZ zone. What is this? Demilitarized. So now what is the meaning of this DMZ zone? Right? Now, this zone contains server facing towards internet. Right? Understand this part that see this DMZ is not internet. This DMZ is a part of LAN only. But rather than keeping everything under the LAN, what it is doing, it is keeping it in the other zone. Now, why? Because there could be a possibility where this server will be accessed by what? WAN side. So if my server is located in my LAN environment. So every time outsiders are going to use my server, that is located in my LAN environment. So my IP will be compromised. My private devices will be compromised. I want to hide my private devices. In that case, rather than keeping my servers in the LAN environment, where I'm putting it in the DMZ. So DMZ zone, you can say it is in between LAN and WAN. Mostly it is responsible for locating the servers. What type of servers? The servers that belongs to the LAN only, right? Examples, web servers, FTP servers, DNS servers, right? So DMZ zone will be containing mostly servers. And these servers belong to whom? LAN only. So it locate servers that is accessible by LAN, include web server, DNS server, mail server, FTP server, any type of server. So instead of locating all these servers in the LAN environment, where it is locating? In the DMZ. So when the any like if the device is located in the LAN environment, it has to send the traffic. So it will use what? DMZ servers. And then it will direct towards what? Internet. So when the servers, whenever outsiders are trying to access, they will access what? Internal servers, but they will be able to access only which server? Server present in the DMZ, right? This is not going to be given to the LAN side. So it means my LAN environment IP will be hidden under what? DMZ part, we can say. So DMZ is a special zone, a special security zone that is present in between LAN and WAN. So actually it is a part of LAN only, but it is used to locate the servers of the LAN because servers are always accessible from the outside internet. That's why we can't keep it at our own LAN environment. That's why we are putting it where? In the DMZ zone. This is a use case of the DMZ zone, demilitarized zone. Fine. So for example, if I have taken here one router, let's say this is router on this interface. Next, this side also I will be taking one device. One more router only, right? So name we can give it as like a web server. Actually, it is a router only, but just I'm making it as a look like a server. As of now, only this two, not the WAN side. So here we have port number 3, here we have port number 2. Now let's give IP address. So here what is the IP address we have given on the port number 1? 192.168.136.201. Let's say on this port number 2, I will give IP as 10.1.1.1 or 10.1.1.10 I'm giving. Okay, /24 only by default. This is on port number 2. On port number 3, I'm giving the IPS, let's say 172.16.1.10/24. Okay. Now I will not assign any IP over this router and web server today. Just I will show you how we can assign IP over the FortiGate firewall through GUIPs. Because now we have configured with the help of what? CLI, right? So for the first time, remember one thing, that for the first time, whenever you will use firewall, in that case, you have to set the IP using what? CLI only. Then further, once you have got the access, that is, you can say GUI access, then only you can be able to change other interfaces. Correct? Now it does not take much time. That directly you can open 192.168.136.201. So admin and ABC 123. Now same again, you will come to which? You will come to network interfaces. In network interfaces, you have port 1 already configured. Now, what is the new one? Port 2 and port 3. See what is the IP we have on the port 2? 10.1.1.10. So come to this port number 2. Now, what I have to do? Edit. So come and give it edit. Now, what is it is asking you? Port 2. Name it is asking you. Let's say we will be keeping here LAN. This is LAN. And this is what? DMZ. So I will give here alias as what? LAN. Now type physical interface. What is the role? See, in the role, it is showing you LAN, WAN, DMZ by default. This is where LAN. Now, what is the address it is asking you? See, you have two options, manual, DHCP, and one more is there. What is one armless network? This we'll discuss at last. Now, today, first what we have to do, manual IP address. Assign it. What is that? 10.1.1.10/24 I'm using here. Right? This is the IPNet mask. Now, administrative access. What do you want to allow? IPv4, HTTPS, SSH, ping, SNMP. What do you want to allow? That you have to decide from here. So what do you want? Ping I want, HTTPS I want. Now, if you're not able to see the rest other thing, then you have other options. You can go CLI, edit there, HTTP, telnet, add all the things, right? Now, as of now, what I have used, HTTPS and ping. Fine, if you want, you can add SSH also. Nothing is required. Now, as of now, just you give okay here. Done. LAN port number 2. This is the physical IP that we have configured 10.1.1.10. And this is the submit mask. And these are the access that we have given ping, HTTPS, and SSH. Correct? Next, one more port we have, port number 3. So again, come to this, come click over this port number 3. Now give edit. Now, what is the alias we have to give? DMZ. Role is what? DMZ. Any other name also you can give. It's from your choice. Manual IP. What is the IP I'm giving here? 172.16.1.10. 172.16.1.10. Now, /24. Correct? Now again think, what do you have to enable it here? Access, let's say HTTPS, SSH, ping. Whatever you will enable, that only will work. Rest other nothing will work. right? No. Now again give what? Okay. Configured DMZ port number 3. This is the IP. These are the access that you have given. Fine. As of now, all the IP has been configured. Just I wanted to show you what is the policy now. Are you seeing here policy and objects? Click here. Now we have to see what IPv4 policy. Click here. What is it in here? Implicit. What is the meaning of this? Implicit policy. It means
Everything denied.
everything is denied. See, source is all, destination is all, schedule is always, service is all, action is what? Not. Action is what? Deny. Then log is what? Disabled. Nothing is enabled here. This is called as what? Implicit policy. Right? If you want to make any changes, what will you add? IP like policies, in that case, explicit policies. Correct? So as of now, with this command, and when you have configured the IP addresses, are they going to communicate? If you will start this device, if you will configure the IP over here, if you will configure the IP over here, will they communicate? No, they will not communicate. The reason because by default implicit policy is present here. To make any changes, you have to go with what? Explicit policies. Fine. Now let us take again the CLI access and then we'll do the modification on the port number 2 and we'll observe whether the changes is available on GUI also or not. 32769. Let me try with this. This is the problem. In this, it is bypassing the steps only. That's why I put D is best. 32769. Admin ABC 123. Okay. So system interface. Now in the system interface, you have the IP 192.168.136.201 on port number 1. Port number 2, this is the IP. Now what you have given, this is the allow access we have given. I want to change this. How will I change? Config system interface. Edit port number 2. Set allow access HTTP telnet and ping also and give end. I have given in the CLI. Come to interface network interface. What is the port number 2? Ping HTTP telnet. Modified. Port number 2. Port number 3. See here ping HTTPS SSH. Edit port number 3. Okay. Config system interface. Edit port number 3. So port number 3. Okay. Now, if you'll give edit port number 3, then what I have to give? Set allow access. I want ping. I want HTTP. I want HTTPS. HTTPS. Then what? Telnet. SSH. Give enter. Now check on the firewall. Present all the changes. So now IP is same, but administrative access is what? Ping, HTTPS, SSH, HTTP, telnet. Correct till here? Now, you want to verify whether they are able to reach or not. How we verify? With the ping command, right? Execute ping. What is IP? 172.16.1.10. Means same, I am pinging from my same device. Just I have to show you how it can ping. So for that, what we give? Execute ping. So different commands are there, you can say it. Clear till here? So please write down the commands to switch the IP address, because every time we have to use this method. Command to configure IP address on the port. First, what we write? Config system interface. Then we write edit port. Here you can go with any port number. So in bracket, I will write just port number. Then what you write after this? Set mode static. That's why I was just checking if my server access will work. No, so I can show you the DHCP IP also, how it will get the IP. As of now, it's not working. That's why I'm unable to show you. Set mode static. Set IP. So first we will write what? IP address here. Then you will write what? Wildcard mask. Next, what we write? Set allow access. Sorry, submit mask, not wildcard mask. Submit mask. Allow access. Whatever the protocol you want to allow. Let's say ping, HTTP, HTTPS, telnet, and then at last what we write? End. This is the command. This is how you can enable and you can configure the IP addresses on any of the port. So for the first time, why we need this? Because you have to get the HTTP, means GUI access. For that, you have to assign it through the CLI only. Clear till here? Now, even you have here options such as like we can say FortiView. So in the FortiView, you have the option of checking what all sessions. So as of now, what will happen? As they are not communicating, they're not enabling any communications. That's why it will not show you any result here. So whenever what will happen that once we'll create the lab where we'll take multiple devices, multiple PCs, Windows devices, everything. Then we'll create the policies, LAN to WAN, LAN to DMZ, all that policy will create. So once the policy has been created, when you will try to ping from the devices, then in that case, you can check the this FortiView all sessions. And that all sessions will be visible here, right? Again, like it is not permanently because once the session has been done, it will be expired also. So live sessions will be, you can able to check here, whatever is being transmitted. Okay. See, as I told you that it has the feature of what? SD-WAN. But as of now, we don't need all these things. For us, VPN is required. These are the security features we have: application control, antivirus, web filter, intrusion prevention, SSL inspection, SSH. And the VPN part, we have like overlay controller VPN, IPsec, IPsec tunnels wizard, and IPsec tunnel templates, right? Now, what do you mean by this term overlay and underlay? Correct only. Underlay is what? Physical infrastructure. Overlay is what? The virtual infrastructure over the physical infrastructures. So what could be the example of underlay? Routers, switches, the physical firewalls. What could be the example of overlay? Huh? VPN, then VRF, VLAN, the virtual thing, right? All that thing will be called as an overlay. Okay. Have you heard OMP? Have you heard OMP? Overlay management protocol it is. That will be used basically in the SD-WAN part. Till it's clear, right? So the next part that we have to use here is the IPv4 policies. So what is the next target? So today, the target that I have given you that I have completed. First, what is architecture we have to discuss that we have discussed. What is modular based firewall that we have discussed. We have discussed what is content processor, what is network processor, then what is system of on a chip. Next, we discuss VDOM. Next, FortiOS, what are the OS versions we have. Next, we discuss what are the firewall models we have. And next, we decided how to configure the IP addresses on the interfaces. Now we have discussed these two things. Now, next step is what? We have to understand the policies, how to create the policies. Now, first thing, tomorrow we will be taking here one WAN zone. We'll connect the devices. We have one device in DMZ part. We'll take multiple devices in the LAN zone. We'll set the IP. We'll enable the communication from LAN to DMZ, LAN to WAN, WAN to DMZ, WAN to LAN, like that. We'll see the policies, how the policies work here. Apart from that, we'll verify using what? Ping. Then we'll see with what? Telnet and SSH also. So before coming to the tomorrow's class, revise Telnet and SSH, then come. Okay. If I'm telling you to revise, you should revise because I will ask you the question from the SSH part. Fine. So revise, then come, so that then I can configure the SSH. Then I will see, like, because ping is very common, right? Just you have to configure the routes and everything, means configure the IP addresses, and you have to create the policies. After that, if you try to ping, it will ping. Now, then we will see what if I want to take telnet access? What if I want to take SSH access? What if I want to take what? HTTP access? So tomorrow our class will be based on the policies only. Complete IPv4 policy. Clear till here? That's all for today.